on Monday Special. Tonight I'm sitting in for Janet Mbogwa. Our topic on Monday Special tonight is how to make smart career choices. Choices made about a career can have repercussions that persist for decades. Yet many young people make snap decisions based on impulse or what they think their parents expect them to do. Yet picking a career is one of the most important life decisions. Tonight we're joined by a group of young persons in studio who will be asking questions about career. And we also have a mentor on the show tonight, Polycarp Igathe, Managing Director, Vivo Energy, Kenya. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Kindly use the hashtag MondaySpecialKE to send in your questions and comments or SMS us using 22422. So before we hear from our young audience, a brief profile of Polycarp Igathe as we talk about how to make smart career choices. He's presently the Managing Director, Vivo Energy, Kenya. Vivo Energy is the company behind the Shell brands in Africa. He joined Vivo Energy in 2013, and before joining Vivo Energy Kenya, Polycarp served Hako Industries for 9.5 years. He joined Hako as a marketing director, rose to become managing director, then got promoted to the role of managing director, Eastern Africa for Tiger Brands. Polycarp has held senior management positions in strategic commercial roles at East Africa Breweries, Coca-Cola Nairobi Bottlers, and Africa Online. And he's 43 years old. So a fairly young mentor we have tonight for our young panel in studio. Polycarp, let me begin by asking, you worked for Hako Industries for a decade. And the new generation of career seekers or millennials hardly stay that long in a job. So why the switch after 10 years?
Wow, thanks for that question. I think I'm just like the new millennials, because though I was in Hako for 10 years, I kept on changing my jobs within the company when I was in the company. And I really changed jobs in my earlier part of my career when I basically started my career maybe in '96. And between 96 and 2001, I think I'd gone through 5 different companies. So I think it's a reality today. Mobility is not a weakness. Mobility is actually strength, as long as you're building on it. And so I really did enjoy my time at Hako, and especially working with Chris Kirubi, who I still consider a mentor today, and a great entrepreneur, and learning from him about how to become an entrepreneur.
Is career impatience a good thing? Should it be encouraged, the switch from one company to another? Because as we talk about millennials, again, the sense is that they're very impatient. They highly stay at one workplace for more than 3 to 5 years. What's your take on that?
Nothing wrong with being impatient to be successful. And I think they say rolling stones gather no moss, is the English saying. But I think if you're progressing at the right time, having picked the right skills, then that is good. Because there are also people who stay in a job for 50 years, but they have the career of 1 year. They've never really don't have the versatility and the changes, or have experienced different things. As long as you're serving your clerkship, I call it clerkship, or articles, learning the job and progressing. And not just learning the job, even in entrepreneurship, you're moving from one product, one service to the other. You're serving one market. You're changing all the time. So I think the world has become faster. If you remember, for a long time today, if you're a leader, your decisions are immediately checked on Twitter, on WhatsApp. Your decisions have instant response. So that is the nature of the world today. There is nothing necessarily wrong with having high mobility. I think what's wrong is having a short-term dimension in your plans. So looking for immediate instant gratification, I think that's a downside. And
I'll be engaging a young panel shortly, but before that, because some of them are actually in campus, and I want to ask you how academic qualifications determine career choice. You hold a BA in economics and sociology from University of Nairobi, and you're a graduate of Strathmore Advanced Management Program. So did your academic qualifications determine your career choice? Absolutely.
I always, the toughest career choice I had to make was whether I go and work for myself as my own businessman, or go into corporate life where I'll be an entrepreneur within a corporate world. And I elected to take the corporate path. But I'm an entrepreneur because the mentality I bring to work is that I have an assignment to do. and I try to create my own job security by making sure every shilling I'm paid in payroll, I generate 10 in profits. That has been my mentality throughout. But yes, to your question, job grades have, not job grades, education qualifications are very, very important.
Yes, and I'll be crossing over to you guys shortly. The reason why I asked you this is because a report dated September 2015 titled Kenya's Education Achievement and Challenges by the World Bank observed that Kenya's education system is failing to produce graduates with the knowledge, skills and competence needed to achieve Vision 2030. Polycarp, the questions young people struggle with are: what should I major in? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I don't want to go to college?
I think that report is a bit harsh. I went to the Kenyan education system. You went through the Kenyan education system. They've gone through the Kenyan education system. We do very well. I think what we are finding is that there may be, at the college level, if you go through primary, secondary, at the college level is where we are missing the software that's required of the world today. And perhaps an attitude where especially grade A students think life is about passing exams. So they come out here remembering I used to get A's, but you have to get an A every day. You have to earn an A daily. Forget about the A you got in your exams. That is the only tweak I would like to put. But I think our education system is sound. What we are lacking is perhaps how we migrate people from high school to work life, to career life. And I think in university, if there's a place where I think we are dropping the ball, that's it. When I went to university, we used to have things like tutorials, where you'd sit, learn how to communicate, learn how to present your argument, and these are things perhaps we are missing, because when people come out here, when I encounter them as business people or as colleagues at work, they lack the confidence to express themselves. They lack the confidence to lift themselves up after they have failed. Young people today, when you tell them actually the work you've just done is not up to scratch, some of them, they lose confidence. They completely look like...
So criticism is a no-no.
Criticism is maybe they were brought up being told they're really nice girls and nice boys, and they come across somebody who for the first time in their life tells them actually you're not up to scratch, you know that. You've got to go out and do something better. You've got to have that confidence, a backbone to stand up when you fall, because certainly you'll fall. Get a return on failure and move on. Those are the skills we are looking for, I think, those are the skills that make great entrepreneurs.
Okay, let me cross over now and invite our young audience in studio to join us in this conversation. And I'll start with, I believe, you who is in university currently. Please tell us your name and where you study and what factors you are considering as you get out there into the job market, and then forward your question to Polycarp.
Okay, my name is Tito. I'm at JQuat. I'm studying architecture. And the things I'm thinking about as I go ahead into my career, I'm wondering how can we ensure that what we study is completely relevant to what we become? Because there are cases where you hear sometimes someone is studying this and this, but by the time they're leaving school, they've completely changed to something different. So is it the student's fault? Is it the education system fault? Who can we say has a role in this?
Tito, thank you for that question. Your education, I have seen engineers who've ended up being very good marketeers. I've seen doctors who've ended up becoming very good salespeople. Your degree is a license to hunt, I keep on saying. It is not a meal ticket. Your education, your degree, your qualification says you're trainable. You have passed master. You have a certain expertise. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should pursue. The days of being pigeonholed are behind us. Come out here and do what you love. Follow your heart. That's the most important thing. Because if you just come out and say, I want to be an engineer, and you don't really enjoy being an engineer, maybe you trained as an engineer, and you don't love being an engineer, then you'll not be as successful as you want to be successful. And most important, ask yourself the question, how will I measure my life and my success? How will I measure my success? Determine that yourself. Nobody else can do that. Not your parent, not yourself. Just you and your own instincts. It's a lonely job.
Okay, let's get another question from one of you. Let's hear from the lady this time.
My name is Mercy. I'm in business. I'm in events and fashion. And the question I have is on staying power. You said whatever you do, after school can keep changing. As others say, it's from tree to tree. Today I may do fashion, tomorrow I may do something different. And when you get into the corporate world, there's the issue with is it sustainable? Can it measure up to something in future? What can you say about now? What advice will you give in terms of staying power? As much as the people who are multi-talented, and you said a rolling stone gathers no moss, you have to keep trying and you have to be flexible, try one thing at a time. Where does focus come in? How do you advise in terms of focus and staying power?
Thank you for that question on staying power. My own experience in careers and in entrepreneurship is staying power is born of how you allocate resources. The great thing is you're a businesswoman, and you know your core number one job is to allocate resources. What resources do you have in a careers? It's your talent, it's your energy, it's your time. Are you spending this on the most important, wildly important goals in your life? You've defined your destination. How will I measure? Are you spending your time, your talents on the most important things? If you look and do a proper assessment of that, you'll find you need to align your energy, your talent, and your time to what is most important to you. You can only do that if you're into introspection, if you like reflecting. Unfortunately, not so many of us invest in reflection. You learn three ways only: education, experience, and lastly, reflection. And reflection is a staff of God. You have to keep quiet, alone. Spend some time having a meeting with yourself.
Okay, thanks for that, Polycarp. Well said. And as this conversation goes on, again, we're talking about factors to consider as you look for a career. And there's a lot of things that people are writing into us saying, what are the options available? How to weigh these options is some of the things that people on Twitter are asking. Is information about the careers available? Is salary important? Prestige? And we'll be getting Polycarp's thoughts on that shortly. But let's get another question from one of you as regards smart career choices. Talk to us.
My name is Jeff. I work with a leading local insurance group, and I'd like to get your thoughts. Maybe you can interrogate on two things, twofold question. Number one, the role of the parent in as far as shaping the decision of the young person in making that smart career choice. And number two, once that choice has been made, and this person, maybe even from your corporate experience, this person lands in a corporate, is there a need for a mentor? What's the importance? And maybe even from your own experience, what value does having a career mentor add to this smart career choice?
I'm a parent myself, and I can tell you, and I have parents myself. I'm a parent, and I also have parents. The role of a parent is very important. But can I describe the role of a parent as a cheerleader and somebody to inspire, and then to stay out of the way? Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of parents today who are taking up the job of choosing careers because they think either their children are not making the right choices, or they themselves have made the wrong choices and they don't want their children. They have good intentions in doing so. So I think the work of a parent is as a cheerleader, as somebody to inspire, and somebody to pray and continue to give blessings and hope to young people, because there is a very big narrative called no future in Kenya, no future in tomorrow, that young people have been sold and they have bought, because they read headlines, they listen to all the negativity in our society, because negativity is sells much faster. It's a cake that has bigger market than positivity, and positivity is about actually acknowledging there is hope. Kenya has done well the past 10 years, and that's the work of parents, to inspire and give that hope. We must never stop giving hope to our children.
So you were talking about mentors, and I believe this gentleman here had forwarded a question to Polycarp about mentorship and the role that plays in making the right career choice.
A very big role. Up to you again to choose the right mentors. Don't choose mentors based on celebrities in newspapers. Choose mentors who reflect your values. But to choose those mentors who reflect your values, in the first place you have to know your values. So understand your values and then choose the right mentor. And a mentor is not somebody who comes to tell you what you want to hear. It's somebody who guides you, coaches you in the journey of life.
And we talk about mentors. Sometimes this is arguable, but the pressure seems to be high. If you're my mentor, for instance, I'm looking for a job that is prestigious. I want a high salary. I'm thinking, okay, so Polycarp did not stay at this job for too long, so I'm picking jobs to build my resume. So sometimes the mentors and the pressure they put on us as the persons that are looking up to you for guidance.
Good question. Mentors ideally are not people to be copied. Neither are they sponsors, if I could use the word. A mentor is a coach. The best mentor is a coach. The best mentors, if you want to remember, personally, one of my best mentors was my headmaster at Nkobo High School, a man called Mbogongare. What a wonderful, wonderful man. And you know, was he kind or nice to me? No, but he told it to me straight and taught me the values of truth and courage. And I still remember when I came to Form 1 and he said, you know, you're celebrating that you have passed high school, primary school. Stop celebrating, get down to work. Everybody here in the same class. And from that day I realized there's never time to celebrate. Once you climb one hill, it's time to climb the other. And there'll never be a stop. So you get mentors. Some of the best teachers you remember are the people who are hardest on you, because they loved you so much that they did not allow you to fail. So, and I'm not saying mentors should necessarily be difficult, hard individuals or hard characters. And you have mentors for different things. Mentors for your spiritual life, mentors for your career, mentors for, you know, your mind, body and spirit. You get different mentors, so, and they change over time. But choose your mentors carefully.
Let's have another question from the lady, I believe, who is in USIU. Okay, tell us your name and what you're studying.
I'm Miriam. I'm a student at USIU studying International Business Administration, and I also sell jewelry. My question is, what would you, in fact, it's more of encouragement to a young person who wants to start their own business, because I'm sure even if you don't do that, you have friends who have done that and they're successful, and they also started from somewhere. Because fact is, we all can't be employed. There's no space for everyone. And so how can we use our degrees to create employment and to encourage others to do that, instead of just targeting the big companies who's going to grow the small ones? So I'd like you to encourage those people who want to start their own businesses.
Fantastic. And I work with a lot of businessmen. In my own company, Vivo Energy, we run Shell petrol stations. Every petrol station is run by an independent entrepreneur. In fact, then they've invested their own cash, their own capital into the business. So I have a lot of respect for self-employed people, and I think congratulations to you that you're already starting to do so while you're in school. So, and I think the message to those people who want to do that, you really need 10 times more discipline to be an entrepreneur than to be an employed person. So I see a lot of people who are employed, they can't come to work on time, they can't do stuff on time, they take longer leaves than they actually should take. Then they say they want to go and start their own business, and you almost want to laugh, because when you're your own entrepreneur, I'm sure you know there's no holiday. Is there? You don't take any holiday. You work 20 times more. But also recall that you have to create a structure of management. Many entrepreneurs forget it. And you're seeing very many companies that were started small as entrepreneurs, then they become so big, the entrepreneur himself or herself can't manage it anymore. So you've got to create structure so that your business will prepare for success, not failure, so that when you're successful, your business does not kill you.
Prepare for success, not failure. And let's hear from the gentleman there who is an entrepreneur. You're a photographer, I believe. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, and then forward your question to Polycarp.
Okay, my name is Isaiah. I run a photography business called I6. It's a registered company. So my question probably would be on behalf of the young people who probably are not, maybe they have just cleared school. By school I mean campus. They have started their own businesses, and they're having a challenge, because where do you draw the line between what you're doing as business, and so where do you draw the line between making money and the passion side of it? Because then this is someone who is doing whatever they're doing, whether they are a designer, fashion designer, or a makeup artist, and so they are very passionate about what they're doing, but at the same time there's the money factor.
Yes, passion that does not translate to the bank account.
Exactly.
I'm passionate about this thing, but it's not paying.
Be careful about that. You've got to be mature to balance the mind and the heart. Passion is the heart, but you also have to be mature. You can't pursue a passion that doesn't pay the bills. So it's usually the balance. But I think if you're going to fail in something, don't fail through lack of passion. Today what I do, I could do it for free. I love what I do. I don't go to work to do Vivo Energy a favor. I go to work to do myself a favor. That's why I get in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I can push till whatever time it's required. Many of us go to our careers, whether we're entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, whatever we are, as if we are doing the employer a favor, or you're doing your customers a favor. If you're a business person, you need to wake up knowing who you are, what you want, and pursue it. But please make sure you're doing something you enjoy. And the test of enjoyment, of passion, and whether you'll make money with it, is if you can do it for free. And if you have that passion, then passion gives you staying power, which we were talking about earlier. If you go through a hard patch, you wake up every day knowing tomorrow will be a better day, tomorrow will be a better day, tomorrow will be a better day. You become a patriot to your own cause.
And somebody here is asking, so how to know if you picked the wrong career? Because somebody here is saying there are people who engage more in practical skills, and these seem to be paying better. Again, we're talking about the money. And then there are those who have gone to school, they have masters, PhDs, but are still taking half of what these guys with these practical skills are making. And I'm talking about basic practical skills, which are raking in high returns for these guys. That's what somebody's asking.
Okay, I think I'll answer them philosophically by saying I think life does not give equal outcomes. Life and the role of life of government is actually to give equal opportunity. But many of us human beings, that's why people expect equal outcomes. The fact that you used to get A's and you have a PhD does not mean that you earn more if you've not taken the right risk. Risk-reward equation actually comes in. And that's why many of us who perhaps even work in corporate life, we work for people who never went to school. Because those people took risks and they deserve the success that they have. And because they are successful, I'm also successful because we are partners. Because they do well, I do well. But I think we tend to have a bit of a scarcity mentality. And imagine, for instance, you could only do well because I'm doing badly. And I think that creates a lot of problem in business, in life, in politics. You can do well and I do well. I think that win-win idea you need to bring in. It's again, all these things we are talking about today, if we forget anything I say, remember it's the software, not the hardware. Education, grades, school you went to, tribe you came from, your height, your looks, that's hardware. Software is your attitude, and it's your behavior. And if you put them on two metrics, if you perform and don't behave, you're not great. You won't survive long term. If you behave and you don't perform, the same thing. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're employed or you're in corporate life. But most important, it should be self-driven. You know the value you bring. You work from inside out.
And I know we have a young panel in studio this evening, but there's also an older demographic that is watching, and they're saying, when is a good time to leave a career that is not working for you? This is a 49-year-old who is saying, I am bored. I'm only doing this because I get to pay my bills. I fear that at my age, there might not be anything out there for me.
I must agree with him. Don't leave what you're doing if you don't have an alternative of paying your bills. That's maturity. You have to mature. You can't be childish and jump out because you have a great passion. And then your family, you have no way to provide for your family or provide for yourself. And I think that's a very honest question. But at the same time, make the decision. Nobody can make decisions for you in life. Whatever happened to self-reliance? introspection is very important. Nobody is going to come and knock the door and tell you, make the decision for you. You have to figure out when to make the decision for yourself and move on. And it's very easy for us to sit in studio and say that. But I know, and I've, in my journey of life, I encourage people to take decisions from themselves. Don't look for decisions outside yourself. Surely there's nobody who's going to make a better decision for you. In fact, there's a Kikuyu musician who has, no, it's actually a local musician from Nyanza who sang a song. I can't remember the exact words, but it's along the lines, do what you have to do. Don't ask others, because even if you wanted to kill yourself, they tell you you're doing a good thing. You know, just
and I'll be taking some closing remarks from two of you. But somebody here is saying, what options are there? Thanks for the program, but do we have career choices in Kenya? Are we chancing? This is what somebody is asking, because yes, the universities are there. Yes, our parents can afford to take us to these universities, and ideally you go to campus under the understanding that I'm going to study medicine or law or what have you, but are the career options available? Are they there? The job market is saturated. So what happens to these people who feel like the options are really limited?
Options are not limited. Jobs are not saturated. We are looking for good people with a good attitude, who can work hard, who have staying power, who have the right attitude. Those people are being sought for every day. But what you tend to find is the opposite of that, and those are the ones on the lineup. That's a fact. And especially honest people. People who are prepared to stay out of jail. Integrity. Basically people of integrity, because many of us come out with the predisposition to short-term gratification. I think the young people now are calling it, Lillian, make it rain. That's the word, that's the latest slang I had, that you want to make it rain. Time is your friend, time is not your enemy. It takes people 2 decades, 3 decades to make it. So don't be too unkind to yourself. Others will make it before you do, but that's not question. Just keep at it, and I think you'll be successful. I'm not successful yet myself. I wake up every day hungrier than perhaps you are, the hunger that you have. I'm a very hungry for success, hungry to achieve my life's goals. And I think that's what we are all called upon to do. And to do that, we have to make sure we also take care of our ecosystem, the environment we are operating in. Because don't laugh when a butchery next door to you, because you're selling beauty products, clothes, because maybe the person who cuts meat there comes to buy from you. So it's very important to remember you're all boats on the same tide, and to take care of the tide, so that the tide keeps on going high and lifts every boat.
And somebody here is saying, I've never set foot in an office, but through hard work and volunteering, I have learned that entrepreneurship is the way to go. Somebody here is also talking about interning, saying that internships have gotten me where I am today. So that ability to give yourself to an organization without pay, I think, is what these viewers are saying has helped them. So let's take 2 questions from you, or comments, as I forward a final question to Polycarp, and then we'll take your tweets.
I have made the decision. I have come to this place. I have realized maybe I want to quit my job. I want to go to another job. I want to go do maybe my own thing. I go, but I fail. What would be your words to someone who has failed? Maybe because they made a wrong career choice, now they're stuck somewhere. I have made the wrong career choice, or they have gone into entrepreneurship and the venture didn't work out. How do you deal with failure?
And let's take another one from one of you. Anybody?
Mine is a comment. I'd like to encourage the youth to stay focused in whatever they're doing, and also respect our parents, because we're discussing it and everyone is saying our parents are our enemies and they don't want us to do this. Yeah, this is what we want. But if actually we listened to them, and if they also did it with love, instead of forcing us to do it, can they explain, okay, I want you to do this and this because of this, and also listen to you, and then you both make a decision. And so I'd like to encourage everyone to respect both sides.
Thank you for that. Let's get your thoughts on that, Polycarp, as we close with a final question.
I think on failure is stand up, dust yourself up, and walk up again. Go, face more failure, roll with the punches. Don't give up just because you failed once. many people fail all the time. I would just encourage you to stand up and try again, stand up and try again, stand up and try again. That's what God wants, and that's the only way you'll succeed.
Okay, thanks for that. And career choice, Polycarp, and balancing that with a family life is another question that's coming in. Some of these careers are highly demanding. We have to look at the fact that some of these young ladies are going to be mothers soon. Some of these young men here are going to be married soon. They'll be husbands and fathers. So balancing that as you make a career choice, whether you're 21 or 18 or 25, what's the way forward as regards that career choice and looking at your future, and just balancing that with family?
There's a book I enjoy reading right now. It's called The Defining Decade. It's written by a psychiatrist called Meg Ryan. It says if you're in your 20s, that's your defining decade. You have to define exactly what you want out of your life. And please don't tell me it's money. Because you'll find the money. These people sitting here will become richer than anyone we have ever seen in Kenya. Then you'll find the money and realize the money does not give you the joy, the peace, the hope that you expected. So you've got to define what is it that you want. For me, I want to be a successful father and a husband. Simple. I work everything else I want to do around that objective. And I think family is very important. Family is the most basic unit, and because it's crumbling and it has come under a lot of pressure, then we are seeing a lot of other societal pressure. Because in family you're tested, tried, and you become true. Then you go to education, then you go to work experience, and hopefully through that journey you learn how to become reflective and you introspect. So family is really important.
Okay, let's take your tweets. Use the hashtag MondaySpecialKE. We are talking about smart career choices, and we want to see what your feedback is on Twitter. Right from learning to effecting into action, it requires a great emphasis on areas of application while learning. Okay. This one is saying the greatest way to improve career choices is to instigate skill, not theory. Somebody here is saying students are not well informed on alternative career choices, e.g. leather science and technology. And a parent is only a cheerleader, a prayer warrior, and a supporter in career choice matters. Somebody here is saying the flaw in our system lies in the fact that we have to compete and pass. This is unfair. Okay, so those are your comments. Thank you very much for talking to us on Twitter. Polycarp, your closing remarks. Career choices, smart career choices. You are an employer. What have you observed with the crop of young persons that come to your organization looking for a job? What drives them? And as we close, what would be your words of wisdom to them as they seek careers, as they seek that career path?
I think they come with a lot of enthusiasm, great energy, and great expectations. Yet they are pulled back by a negative narrative that's existent in our society, that there is no hope, especially in our country, that this country is headed in the wrong direction. And I tell them, don't buy the negative narrative. There is a lot of hope and opportunity. This country has enjoyed close to, after 03, close to 13 years of GDP growth through a lot of challenges, and it's a resilient country. And the other thing is, I think I would like to tell young people is, pray, work hard, and have discipline. Become a disciple of something. Work damn hard. It doesn't come slog. Be diligent. Don't celebrate that you are successful yesterday. Wake up and play your game the same way, at the same level you played yesterday. And I think we will all succeed that way. And most important, let's pray for each other and pray for our country, and pray for the tide. Pray for the ecosystem that we are in, and remain very hopeful that we are born and we live in heaven, the best place on earth, and that's Kenya. We've been talking to Polycarp Igathe, MD, Vivo Energy Kenya, our young panel in studio. I believe that you've been inspired. Are you feeling a whole lot better about what the way forward is? Okay, thank you very much for watching Monday Special Kenya. My name is Lillian Muli. I was sitting in for Janet Mbogwa tonight. Please keep talking to us. The hashtag is Monday Special Kenya. Good night.